Welcome to Policy on Demand's Week in Review. I'm Andrew Pryor. Bipartisan talks on the size, scope, and pay-fors for an infrastructure package continued this week. At the beginning of the week, President Biden met with a bipartisan, bicameral group of lawmakers to discuss his $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan, which is offset by corporate tax increases. During that meeting, he asked Republican lawmakers to come back with their own alternative infrastructure plan that includes pay-fors. At the end of this week, Senate Republicans were set to unveil their own infrastructure package of up to $800 billion, which would be at least partially offset by user fees. The question I got most often this week was around both the timing and when we might expect additional details about the corporate tax increase proposals that would offset infrastructure. Democrats have set an aggressive timeline for considering infrastructure legislation that would involve House passage of a bill by the 4th of July recess period, as well as Congress completing action by the August recess. However, this could slip beyond the August recess and into the fall. As for details, we don't expect the Biden administration to release bill text for its corporate tax proposals. However, we might get more details when the president submits his budget to Congress, perhaps as early as mid-May, and the Treasury Department, in conjunction with the budget release, would release a Treasury Green Book explanation of the revenue proposals in the budget. However, we may have to wait for a committee markup, perhaps in June, before we'll actually see actual bill text. President Biden will mark his 100th day in office with a joint address to Congress next week. He's expected to focus on his accomplishments during his first 100 days in office, including the vaccine rollout and enactment of the COVID-19 relief package under budget reconciliation procedures. But I would also expect him to outline his agenda for the remainder of the year. In fact, he's expected to announce an American Families Plan, which would make additional investments in human capital like education, childcare, and paid leave, and is expected to offset that package with proposed tax increases on upper-income individuals.